What is up, everybody? It is Og here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at something that has been requested a lot recently, and that's what talents I use, and in particular, the two different talent sets that I use. So I'm not using a webcam today because I'm back at home for the holidays, so happy holidays to everybody. But I will be sharing the screen, and I have two prep talents that I'll be running through so you guys can see. And if you guys are enjoying these videos, please like below, let me know in the comments, and subscribe. Really helps out my channel to grow and also to show this to more people, so I really appreciate it. All right, so if nobody has ever tried to do the talent calculator, really handy tool. Obviously, re-specs in Classic are so expensive. You know, you start off at 1 gold, but you ultimately get up to 50 gold. So you can mess around with your talents without needing to worry about respecking and trying them out too much with this Classic talent calculator. So if you go to Google and you just type Classic WoW talent calculator, you can go to this Classic WoW head site right here. Click on that, it'll take you to a page like this. You pick your class, and then you can just start going through the specs. So here we have my main talents that I run the majority of the time that I'm power leveling. Now this, I call it my mana regen set, and there will be a link to both of these specs below. But the idea is that with this spec, you can do pretty much unlimited blizzards, Kona colds, anything like that. You just have unlimited mana as long as you have enough people casting abilities at you. Why is that? Because of this talent right here, magic absorption. So what it does is it increases your resistances by 10, which is nice because you resist more. But then it also causes all spells you fully resist to restore 5% of your total mana with a 1-second cooldown. So that's basically if you resist 20 spells over the course of 20 seconds, you're getting full mana back every 20 seconds, which is insane. So that's what makes this spec work. Now to run through the spec, we go the typical Frost build. We get the elemental precision so that we get resisted less. We get the frost armor. I go full shatter, so I get ice shards with the 100% increased critical damage bonus, and then shatter with the increased critical strike chance by 50%. So full builds. We have improved blizzard, permafrost, everything maxed except for winter's chill. Now winter's chill will give a 20% chance to increase the chance frostbow will critically hit the target, but with this build you're really focusing on blizzards, right? Now if you get them stuck with the Kona cold and everything, that's great, and you already have like a 60% to 70% crit chance, you really don't need this winter's chill. You could give this up, or you could get it without having clear casting, but personally I feel like having that clear casting for additional arcane explosion or a free cone of cold if you're in a dire situation, you can fish for cone of colds, something like that is much more worth it. So after the frost build, which is pretty standard, again, these will be linked in the description below, we go over to arcane. So I get 3 points into arcane focus, reason being that we do not want people resisting our arcane explosion as much as possible, because really when you're AoE farming like crazy with the power leveling, you need every tick of damage you can get with your mana, especially if you're not wearing great gear. I'm also going to be making another video about what gear you need to be able to do a lot of these farms. So look forward to that. Then you have your magic absorption, which we just talked about, which causes us to resist spells and get mana back. And then obviously clear casting. Now I only have 4 points into clear casting, but you still get a good amount of clear casting procs. I mean, 1 out of every 12 versus 1 out of every 10. It's definitely a difference. 100% worth it though for that extra 1% of your total mana. Now if you find that you're having a ton of mana, you're not having any problems, and you just want more clear casting procs for whatever reason, you could drop this down 1 point. It's just going to make you restore 4% of your total mana. Not the biggest change in the world, but I would definitely have these two talents. So what is this good for? This is good for any dungeon below pretty much Dire Maul. It's really good for any dungeon. You can use this in any dungeon. The only thing that kind of limits it is once you get up to ZF somewhat, but really Dire Maul and above, you're not going to be resisting a lot of their spells because they're already going to be level 46, 47, 48. So you're not going to be resisting a ton of their spells. Any other dungeon though, SM, SFK, Dead Mines, Wailing Caverns, RFC, Stockades, all those, this works perfectly for anything where there's going to be people hitting you. Now this also applies in SM Cath when you have the like flame weapon kind of deal where they're still meleeing you but hitting with flame weapon. You can still resist that flame weapon and still get that 5%. So this is my main spec, called the mana regen spec. It'll be in the description below. Now we'll move on to my personal favorite spec, just from the raw damage it outputs, and that's what I call the Flamestrike spec. So similarly with the Frost, we go down in the tree, get all the important talents. Something key to note, though, is we do not take Frost Channeling. So this reduces the mana cost of all your Frost spells by 5%, ultimately 15%. And the threat, again, you're not really worried about threat per se, but that is a lot of mana you're going to be missing out. And you also only go 2 points into Piercing Ice. But let me tell you why. If you go over here, by giving up these talents, you get Master of the Elements. Your Fire and Frost spell criticals will refund 30% of your base mana cost. Then you have this, Improve Flamestrike. Increases the critical strike of your Flamestrike spell by 15%. So you have Shatter, increasing the critical strike of all your chances against frozen targets by 50%, plus Flamestrike by 15%, plus whatever crit you already have. You're already talking right there at 65%, plus whatever crit you have, which is probably about 10% once you max out. So you're at about 75% crit chance with your Flamestrike. You're going to get your mana back every single time for 30% of the mana cost. Won't need to worry about this Frost Channeling. Now, this spec is really good for kind of that Arcane Explosion in and out kind of spec where you're just fishing for, you would be fishing for clear casting procs. Same kind of strategy where you're running around in a circle, keeping them max range, and then every time Frost Nova's up, you Nova them, Flamestrike, Cone of Cold, dead. And because of the amount of damage that you're doing, you're probably going to be killing them with Flamestrike and Cone of Cold. I do this for ZF, and I don't even need to do a second Flamestrike and Cone of Cold because of how much damage this does. Why does it do so much damage? The synergy that comes with the spec is insane. So we already talked about getting the mana back and the crit chance on the Flamestrike. But now you have the synergy of Ignite. So this causes a critical strike from all fire spells to do an additional 40% of their spell damage. So let's say you Flamestrike for 1k, 1.1k on all the mobs. They're then taking another 400 damage, or 440 damage from you. That's the equivalent to 2 Arcane Explosions that you don't have to cast. This spec puts out a ton of damage, and it is what I use for my ZF farming. I can do the entire thing in about 5 minutes, and I'll be posting another video for all the ZF farming soon, so look forward to that as well. This spec, guys, I'll run through the fire. I get Improved Fireball. Personally, this just helps with me. Once you have Improved Fireball, you use rank 1 Fireball to pull mobs. You're looking at a 1-second cast time on all your Fireballs to pull mobs. It's incredible. You go Ignite, as we talked about before. Improve Flamestrike for the 15% crit. Burning Soul. Now, this is up to you. You can go Improved Fire Blast, and you can have a shorter cooldown on your Fire Blast. You can go Flamethrowing to increase the range of your fire spells a lot of people use. I personally use Burning Soul, because on the off chance that one mob resists your Nova and is beating on you, you don't want to basically get knocked back the entire time, then everybody breaks out of Nova, and then you just die, right? What you want to do is you want to be able to still cast through those hits and hopefully not lose any casting time. So I go Burning Soul and get 2 out of 2. And again, this is for AoE farming. There's things like ZF, DM, soloing DM North, DM East, soloing BRD farms, stuff like that. So I hope this video helped you out, guys. If you did like it, please give a like below, comment, and let me know. Follow on the social media links. They'll be in the description below as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks, everyone.